Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to discuss questions related to Indian National Congress or INC, which are very frequently asked in competitive exams. So, INC was formed during the period of Governor General Lord Dufferin. This question is frequently asked in exams. And it was founded by A.O. Hume or Alan Octavian Hume in 1885. The date is very important in history, so it was founded in 1885. And the first session or the first meeting was held at the hall of Gokuldas Tejpal Sanskrit College in Bombay in 1885. And the first president was Umesh Chandra Banerjee. He was a veteran lawyer of Calcutta. And the first session was attended by 72 delegates from all over India. Now let's have a look on the four main demands put forward by the Indian National Congress at its first session. Number 1. Simultaneous examinations for Indian civil service to be held in England and India. Number 2. Reforms of the Legislative Council and adoption of the principle of election in place of nomination in constituting them. Next, apology for the annexation of Upper Burma. Because during the period of Lord Dufferin, the Third Burmese War took place in 1886 that led to the annexation of the whole Burma. And the fourth was reduction in the military expenditure. So that were the four main objectives of the first session. Let's have a look on the questions. Number 1. Who was the first president of Indian National Congress? This question was asked in WBCS 2005, 2003 and 7. So the first president of Indian National Congress was Umesh Chandra Banerjee, or in short form W.C. Banerjee, and he was a veteran lawyer of Calcutta. Next question is question number 2. Who presided over the second session of the Indian National Congress, or who was the president of the second session? This question was asked in WBCS 2006 and 2010. So the second president was Dadabhai Naoroji, and it was held in Calcutta in the year 1886. Now, Dadabhai Naoroji has got two main titles which are frequently asked in exams, and those titles are Grand Old Man of India and Unofficial Ambassador of India. This Grand Old Man of India, this question has been frequently asked in many competitive exams, like who is known as the Grand Old Man of India and the Unofficial Ambassador of India, and the answer is Dadabhai Naoroji. Next, question number 3. Who was the first woman to preside over the Indian National Congress in 1925? This question was asked in WBCS 2007. Here, the first woman to preside over Indian National Congress was actually Annie Besant, but here in this question it is asked who was the first woman to preside in the year 1925. Actually, she was the first Indian woman, that is Sarojini Naidu, in the year 1925, and it was held in Kanpur, and she was the first Indian female president. But if the question is asked who was the first woman to preside over Indian National Congress, it would be Annie Besant. She was a British socialist, and she also opened the Indian Home Rule League and also became the president of the Indian Home Rule League in 1916. So don't be confused with both the questions. If in the question it is asked who was the first woman, then it is the Annie Besant, and if it is asked who was the first Indian woman to preside over Indian National Congress, It is Sarojini Naidu. Next, question number 4. Who was the first Indian female president of Indian National Congress? Like I've already told before, first Indian female or Indian woman to preside over Indian National Congress was Sarojini Naidu in the year 1925. Next, who was the Viceroy of India at the time of formation of Indian National Congress? This question was asked in WBCS 2008. So it was formed in 1885. So the Viceroy was Lord Dufferin. At the time, Lord Dufferin was Viceroy and his time period was from 1884 to 1888. And during his time period, many events had occurred, like Third Burmese War took place in 1886. Next question, who came to be known as the father of Indian National Congress? This question was asked in WBCS 2012. So, father was A.O. Hume, father of Indian National Congress, Alan Octavian Hume. Next, question number 7. Where was the first session of INC held? This question was asked in WBCS 2013. So, the first session of INC was held in Bombay in 1885 in the hall of Gokuldas Tejpal Sanskrit College. This question is very important. The venue of the first meeting of Indian National Congress, that is Gokuldas Tejpal Sanskrit College. Next question is question number 8. What was the number of delegates that attended the first session of Indian National Congress? So, there were 72 delegates all over India. Next question, question number 9. Who was the first Muslim president of Indian National Congress? This question was asked in WBCS 2011. And the first Muslim president was Badruddin Tayyibji in the Madras session in 1887. And he was the third president of Indian National Congress and the first Muslim president. Question number 10. Who among the following was elected president of the Congress in 1907? Here, who among the following means there is option, but I'm not giving you options. Just you have to notice the date of this session, that is 1907. It was held in Surat. So, the president then was Rash Bihari Ghose. So, here the Surat split occurred. That means during the Surat session, the Congress members split into two factions, moderates and extremists, because of the differences in their opinions. The extremist members were known as Lal, Bal and Pal, where Lal stands for Lala Lajpat Rai, Bal stands for Bal Gangadhar Tilak, and Pal stands for Bipin Chandra Pal. That's why they were also known as Lal, Bal and Pal. And the others were the moderate leaders like A.O. Hume, Surendranath Banerjee, Dadabhai Nauraji, etc. They were all moderates. Next, Haripura session of Congress elected president. Haripura session was held in 1938 and the president then was Subhash Chandra Bose. And during this session, under the presidency of Subhash Chandra Bose, National Planning Committee was set up and the chairman of this National Planning Committee was Jawaharlal Nehru or J.L. Nehru. So the chairman of National Planning Committee was Jawaharlal Nehru and it was set up in the year 1938. Next, who was the president of INC at the time of Indian independence? This question was asked in WBCS 2011. Indian independence was in 1947 and the president was J.B. Kripalini and was elected in the year 1946 till 1947. Next, question number 13. who was the president of Lucknow session of International Congress 1916. So Lucknow session was held in 1916 and the president was A.C. Mazumdar or Ambika Charan Majumdar. During this Lucknow session, the Congress factions got reunited and the Lucknow Pact was signed, that is merger with the Muslim League, and Gandhi attended this meeting. So these were the three events that occurred during this session. Next, question number 14. The first secretary of International Congress was Alan Octavian Hume. Next question. Who among the following presided over Karachi session of International Congress? So here, no need to give the options. You just need to know who was the president of Karachi session. Karachi session was held in the year 1931 and Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel was its president. And during this session, three major events took place, and those were Gandhi-Irwin Pact was signed between Gandhi and Viceroy Irwin on 5th March 1931, that is before the second roundtable conference. So Gandhi-Irwin Pact was signed in the year 1931. Second event was resolution on fundamental rights were made. And third one was National Economic Program was passed. So among these three important events, Gandhi-Irwin Pact is important for exams. Next, who among the following was thrice elected president of INC? This question was asked in NDA 2008. So who was elected three times as president? He was Dadabhai Naoroji, or the Grand Old Man of India. He was elected three times. First, second and third time are, first time he was elected in the year 1886 at Calcutta, and this was the second session of the International Congress. Second time he was elected president in the year 1893 at Lahore, and this was the 9th session. And the third time he was elected president in the year 1906, that is in Calcutta, and it was the 22nd session of International Congress. So Dadabhai Naoroji was elected three times as the president of International Congress. In the second session, that is in 1886, the merger of International Congress with the International Conference took place. That is, the Congress and the International Conference got united. And in the 22nd session in 1906, the word Swaraj was first adopted or first mentioned in the session of International Congress. So from this question, you got to know about the three sessions of the International Congress: 1886 Calcutta, 1893 Lahore, and 1906 Calcutta, and the president was Dadabhai Naoroji. Next, who among the following was the president of International Congress continuously for 6 years? This question was asked in Uttar Pradesh PCS 2016. So for 6 years, the president was Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, or Abul Kalam Azad, or sometimes in options only Azad is written. So Maulana Abul Kalam Azad was the youngest president of the International Congress. Sometimes question may be asked, who was the youngest president of International Congress? Then the answer is Abul Kalam Azad. So let me explain how did he became president for 6 years. Actually, he was elected president only for 2 years. In the year 1923, in Delhi, and in the year 1940 in Ramgarh. But he continued as the president, or he had to continue as the president of the Congress till 1946, because there was no election held during this period, because almost every Congress leader was in prison on account of the Quit India movement in the year 1942. That's why he became the president of the Indian National Congress continuously for 6 years. In the year 1940, the British government made an announcement on 8 August 1940, which came to be known as the August Offer. And the Viceroy of that time, Lord Linlithgow, put forward this proposal that included dominant status as the objective for India, and or they put forward for the proposal of national government. But this offer, the August Offer, was rejected by the Congress leaders. Next, which of the following session of Indian National Congress was presided over by C. Vijay Raghav Charya? This question was asked in UPBCS 2016. So, Raghav Charya was the president of Nagpur session in the year 1920. And in the Nagpur session, the events that occurred was Gandhian program was adopted and a new constitution for Indian National Congress was framed. Next, who among the following were official Congress negotiators with Cripps mission? Or another question asked in WBCS 2000 and 2014 was the Congress president who conducted negotiation. That is, here in question, Congress president is asked. Negotiation with Cripps and Wavell at the Simla conference. So both the questions are similar, but there is a slight difference, because in the first question, president is not asked. In first question, they have asked the official Congress negotiators. So for both the questions, we have different options. For the first question, we have to choose the official Congress leaders or the official Congress negotiators. And in the second question, we have to see the Congress president, the leader who was the president. So as we know, for the year 1940 till 1946, Abul Kalam Azad was the president. So for the second question, our answer will be Abul Kalam Azad. And for the first question, the answer will be Jawaharlal Nehru and Maulana Azad. With the President Azad, Jawaharlal Nehru was also there to negotiate with the Cripps. Next, who was nominated by Mahatma Gandhi for the presidential of the Congress on 1939 against Subhash Chandra Bose. So, in 1939, the Congress session took place in Tripuri, and Gandhiji nominated Pattabi Sitaramaiah as the president of Indian National Congress, but instead of Pattabi Sitaramaiah, Rajendra Prasad became the president of Indian National Congress. After Subhash Chandra Bose resigned from the post of the president, Rajendra Prasad became the president. But Pattabi Sitaramaiah became president in the year 1948 at Jaipur. In the year 1948. And this was the first session after independence. Next question, question number 21. In which session of the Indian National Congress the demand for Purna Swaraj was made or was raised? So this question was asked in many competitive exams and WBCS 2004, 5, 8 and 12. So Purna Swaraj demand was raised in the Lahore session of International Congress in the year 1929. And the president of the Lahore session was Jawaharlal Nehru. Lahore session occurred on December 1929. Next question we have 22. The goal of Lahore Congress 1929 was, this question was asked in WBCS 2007. So the goal of Lahore Congress was Purna Swaraj. The previous question is similar. Purna Swaraj means complete independence for India. So it was the complete independence for India. Next, who among the following was not a moderate? This question was asked in WBCS 2002 and 8. So, as we know, the Congress had the two factions, moderate and the extremist, and the extremists were Lal, Bal and Pal. So, from these three names, we know that the extremists were Lala Lajpat Rai, Bal Gangadhar Tilak and Bipin Chandra Pal. So among this, Bipin Chandra Pal is not the moderate. Next, in which session of the International Congress did the conflict between the moderates and extremists reach its climax? This question was asked in WBCS 2004. So moderates and extremists got separated in the Surat session of 1907. It is also known as the Surat split. And the president of the Surat session was Ras Bihari Ghosh. There were many causes for the split of the Congress into moderates and extremists, and most especially was that the extremist leaders opposed the moderate attitude and they were against the decisions made by the moderate leaders, especially towards the self-government. And in the Surat session, the extremists made two demands. Demand for the resolution of Swaraj and Lala Lajpat Rai to be made the president of Indian National Congress. But both of their demands were not accepted by the moderates and they made Ras Bihari Ghosh as the president, and finally they got split into moderates and extremists. Next, who among the following never became president of Indian National Congress? So the person who never became the president of Indian National Congress was Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Bal Gangadhar Tilak joined the International Congress in the year 1890, but he was against the moderate rulers of International Congress, or he opposed the moderate attitude of the Congress, especially towards the fight for the self-government, and he was supported by Bipin Chandra Pal and Lala Lajpat Rai in Punjab, and they were collectively known as Lal Bal Pal. Lala Lajpat Rai, Bal Gangadhar Tilak and Bipin Chandra Pal, and they were the extremist leaders of the International Congress. Other than them was all the moderate leaders. Only three of them were the extremists. Next question we have question number 26. The famous Lucknow Pact was signed between International Congress and the Muslim League in. So the Lucknow Pact was signed in the Lucknow session of International Congress 1916. And in this Lucknow session of International Congress in the year 1916, two major events took place. Those were, first, number one, the dividend factions of Indian National Congress became united. That means the moderates and the extremists became united. And number 2, most important, Lucknow Pact was signed between the International Congress and the All India Muslim League. So, an understanding for joint action against the British was reached between the International Congress and the Muslim League, and it was called the Lucknow Pact. So, it was signed in the year 1916. Next, who brought about a compromise between Muslim League and International Congress in 1916? So, the compromise between INC and Muslim League in 1916 was brought about in the Lucknow session by signing the Lucknow Pact, and it was done by Bal Gangadhar Tilak or B.G. Tilak. So it was Bal Gangadhar Tilak who brought about a compromise between Muslim League and INC in the year 1916. In the year 1916, two Home Rule Leagues were established by the two persons, one by the Bal Gangadhar Tilak and another by Mrs. Annie Besant. Bal Gangadhar Tilak opened Home Rule League at Pune, and Annie Besant opened Home Rule League at Madras. Tilak opened Home Rule League at Pune in April 1916. April 1916. And Annie Besant opened it at Madras in September 1916. In the same year, month is different. Tilak opened at Pune in April and Annie Besant in September in the year 1916, and both the leagues cooperated with each other and as well as with the Congress and the Muslim League in putting their demand for home rule. So, we can say with the effort of Bal Gangadhar Tilak, the compromise between the International Congress and Muslim League was made. Next, we have question number 28. Which of the following is correctly matched? Sorry, the question is, which of the following is not correctly matched? So here you have to see the session of Congress and the place where it was held. Option A, session of 1887 was in Madras, correct. Session of 1888 Allahabad, correct. Congress session of 1890 Calcutta, correct. But 1892 was not held in Bombay, it was held in Allahabad. And the president there was again Vimesh Chandra Banerjee. So the option number D is not correctly matched. Next, match list 1 with list 2. So this type of questions are frequently asked in competitive exams. So list 1 we have Congress session and list 2 president. So the first session's president was Vimesh Chandra Banerjee. So A4. Second session's president was Dadabhai Naoroji. B will be 3. And third session's president was Badruddin Taibji, the first Muslim president of International Congress. C will be 2 and D will be 1. So A4, B3, C2, D1. Answer. Question 30. Who among the following was the founder of Muslim League? This question was asked in NDA 2008. So Muslim League was founded in the year 1906. And the founder of Muslim League was Nawab Salimullah. And he was the Nawab of Dhaka. And the main objective of the Muslim League was to safeguard the political rights of Muslims in India. Next, question number 31. Who drafted the Constitution of Muslim League? The Green Book This question was asked in NDA 2009. So the Constitution of Muslim League, the Green Book, was drafted by Muhammad Ali Jinnah, and he was the founder of Pakistan. And Muhammad Ali Jinnah also served as the leader of All India Muslim League in the year from the year 1913 until the inception of Pakistan on 14th August 1947. So Pakistan was founded on 14th August 1947 by Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Next, while delivering the presidential address, the Congress president who advocated the introduction of Roman script for Hindi language was, so who introduced the Roman script for Hindi language in the Congress? The answer is Subhash Chandra Bose. So that's all in this video. I hope you like this video. If you all are preparing for competitive exams and want to see more videos on the questions related to the competitive exams and the previous year's questions solved, then please don't forget to subscribe to my channel.